What a beautiful and lovely chord progression. Now, believe it or not, guys, these type of chords can be achieved in 3 simple steps. Let's talk about diatonic chords, guys. Chords that come from the same key. The example I just played was in the key of E major, and I literally played the E major scale. And then I put a chord on each of these notes. Now in this video I want to show you a bunch of beautiful, dreamy and peaceful and crystal chord progressions that follow the same system. Now before we get started, we need 2 things, some sort of a clean tone and a little bit of delay and reverb so that we can sustain these chords beautifully. Now the first diatonic chord progression is in the key of E major. Again guys, a diatonic chord is a chord that belongs to one key. So we are in E major, we're going to be using almost all the chords that belong to the E major key. First step, learn the E major scale. We are on the A string, we're going to play the fret number 7, 6, 4, 2, open, and then on the low E string, fret number 4, 2, and 7. And we finish with an E major chord. So learn the scale. Now the second step will be to harmonize each one of these notes. So the note E is going to give you the E major chord. I'm going to play this lovely shape, which is played with the root note of the chord, the 5th of the chord, and the major 3rd of the chord. So we have the note E, the note B, and the note G sharp. Now first just practice the chords, okay? So E major. The second chord is a B over D sharp. I'm playing fret number 6, fret number 9, and fret number 7. Then the C sharp minor chord, we all know this chord. 4, 6, and 5. B major, 2, 4, and 4. A major with 0, 2, and 2. And then we have this lovely E over G sharp. So it's fret number 4, fret number 2, and fret number 4. And we finish with these 2 chords. F sharp minor with just fret 2 and 2. And B major with fret 7 and 8. We can also add a picking pattern and play the chords like this. So I'm just doing a downstroke, downstroke, upstroke, and upstroke. 5, 4, 2, and 4. Now step number 3 is going to be pretty cool. We can add an additional note to the chords, and we're going to do 2 things. First of all, we're always going to use the E major scale to determine which note is going to be. And the second thing is we're going to add this note always in the same place, right after the last note of the chord. So for example, the first chord, E major, the last note is the note G sharp. So I'm going to use the E major scale to determine the next note, which is going to be the very next note after G sharp, which is the note A. So I'm going to add the note A to the chord. I'm going to do the same thing with the other chords. And for the last 3 chords, we just arpeggiate the chord like this, with the E string open, and then the B and the E string open, and the same thing for the B. And we finish with a lovely E major. E, G sharp, and A, then the B, the E string, F sharp, G sharp, and this beautiful chord with low E string, and then fret number 6, 6, 7, 7. Now we can use the same system to play the same chord progression, but this time in a minor key. So I can play the E minor scale. And harmonize the scale and do the same thing. Now it's basically the same concept. I have now the scale on 7, 5, 3, 2, open, 3, 2, and then I kind of play the fret number 1, which is a note that doesn't belong to the scale. It's a nice chord. We're gonna play an F major chord on this. So fret number 1 and then fret number 0. Now the step number 2, again, we can harmonize the notes of the scale. So I'm gonna end up with the E minor chord, chord 1, then chord 7, which is the D major. I'm using the same shapes as the previous exercise. C major and B minor, A minor and G major, play with 3, 5 and 4. Then I'm playing these D over F sharp and then these F major. So we can do the same picking exercise. I'm playing the F like this, just the F on fret 1 and then the G string fret 2 and the B string fret number 3. And then I finish with this melody on fret 4, 5 and 4. And the E minor chord. Now with step number 3, we can do the same thing. We can use the E minor scale to add an additional note to the chords. And then we're gonna put the notes always in the same place, always after the last note of the chord. So if the first chord is the E minor chord and the last note is the note G, then I'm going to use the E minor scale to determine which one is going to be the next note, which will be the note A. So then same thing for the next chord. The last chord, the D over F sharp, is slightly different. We just do the arpeggio. Same thing for the F. Now let me give you another example in the key of C major. Now I want to show you how we don't necessarily have to always start with the root note of the scale. In fact, the chord progression that I'm playing right now starts on the chord 4, which is this one. So I'm going to start with the note F, and again, step number 1, I can play the scale, the note F, the note G, the note A, the note B, the note C. Now I'm only going to do it with these 5 chords, but again, it's always the same system. Of course, we can harmonize this lovely scale. I wanted to do something a little bit more creative, so I used add 9 chords. And then a fragment of the scale. So of course we can start with the chords only and play the F, the C on fret 3 and the G on fret 5, and then the note A on the fret number 2. It's also such a great picking exercise. The G major, 3, 5, 7 and 4. And for the A minor is 5, 5, 7, 9, and 5. For the B, we are playing the fret 2, 3, 5, and the B string fret number 3. This is a little bit more challenging. And we finish with the C. I'm playing 3, 5, 7, and then 5 again. Now step number 3 is going to be slightly different. We're going to add 2 notes, and we're going to change the way we add these 2 notes. Of course, we're going to add the notes always in the same place. So after the last note of the chord. But this time, as you can see, the pattern is different. So of course, I'm still using the C major scale as a reference. So after I play the last note of the chord, I want to go 2 notes above the last note, which is the note C, and then 1 note back, which is the note B. So it's kind of a nice pattern. I'll do the same with the other chords. So B, the note D, and the note C. Same thing for the A minor. E and D. And then I have the note F and E. And I finish with the C major. I arpeggiate the chord, and then I play the fret 8, 8, 10, 12, and this lovely C sus2, 8, 7, and 8. And as you can see, the cool thing is that this one can start as an exercise, but then it can of course open up to a lot of different possibilities, and it can actually become a songwriting exercise. Now I'm gonna leave you to practice this, guys. Let me know if you like the lesson and if you want more electric guitar lessons. Now I'm gonna talk to you next time. You have a lovely weekend. I'll see you soon.